Hey folks, good morning. It's a beautiful day today. Just finished one of my errands. Now heading to my second errand for today. So just trying to survive and enjoy whatever nice weather provides. So the question today is the idea of principle and character still important in the world we live in? This discussion came to light by a question that came to me by another friend about ethics. The question was, have we become so uh, shady in many ways when we look at people today have one's own character, one's own ethics, and one's own principle easily been taken away by greed, power, and financial gains that is based on their situation. This question was really something I had to think about, not because it's hard or even simple. It's fundamental more than ever, because what's happening in society is the lack of transparency about a person or people or group. What made this thing really became insightful for me because is something that I had to think about was one of my papers in one of my classes was about moral ethics, interpersonal and personal moral ethics. So the idea of character and one's principle is questionable because how do you quantify those in the parameters everyone has in life? And that was a guiding point for me. One's character, one's own principle is based on many things. But when you started adding the character, the principle, the ethics, that becomes simple. If a person follows the, the, the rule of thumb, that's very simple. It's something we all learned when we were still young. Be honest, be compassionate, be understanding. Learn and grow from your mistakes, learn and grow from others, develop and create the person who you are based on doing what's right. Not what's right at the time, but right. In my life, what I decided years ago is when I make decisions, when it comes to ethical, moral, it's based on, am I doing this and will my grandmothers, who I dearly love and still believe in their spirituality is guiding me, will they be angry? Will this choice or action disrespect, dishonor my grandmothers? And finally, will this or what I'm going to be doing going to get my ass kicked by these two women in my life? The paradigm on this thought is based on that we have become so focused on what other people think about our life. I have seen people lie, steal, do some of the most devious things for the sake of another person. And a lot of them are immoral, unethical, and in some cases illegal. But people will do that because of that venture or gesture of idea. So the idea is that is one's own character, one's own principle, and one's own ethics still stand strong today? The answer is still does. Is yes. But it has wavered for a lot of people. Not because they have to. Some want to because for the sake of, unfortunately, I've heard it many times, for the sake of love, for the sake of power, for the sake of money, and for the sake of just, unfortunately, getting out of what they feel is a dead life. They'll do anything. People have lost their own faith in themselves, in maybe in the idea, in their own religious or ideal part. But I have seen people's character, their principle, their humanity, and their ethics taken away because of certain uncontrolled and in some cases controlled situation. So my answer to my friend was character and principle is still an important part of our humanity, part of our world, but it has become ingrained in a fixture that is unnoticeable for some people because they have totally focused and took those perspective and decided that their character, their principle can be bought out, can be erased, can be paused just to do, in their mind, one simple wrong act. But that's the problem right there. When you start going in that path, thinking that one wrong path will not take you to the next wrong path, and there's that's the devil in its marking. People think the least obvious, that this thing will not explode and get worse, and that's where people have lost their character, have lost their principle, have lost their ethics for the sake of something that is in their mind important at that time. So for me, having a strength based on one's own principle is still as important as ever, and more important today, because the inability to have the strong character, the strong virtue, the strong honesty, the strong principle of what's right and doing the right thing even when no one's looking is more important today than ever. So what do you think? Have we lost our character and principle in this world? Because in my case, I think we haven't. It's been broken and we need to fix it. And it starts with accountability, being honest, being truthful, and being real. There's a problem. We need to fix it. We don't need bandages. We don't need excuses. We don't need no reason. We just have to do it. Even if it's painful, we need to do it right. So for now, take care, stay safe, and of course, have a nice and beautiful day. Thank you.